Hello and welcome everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons why fearful avoidants can tend to want to pull away from their relationship, especially when they are feeling unsafe and disconnected to their partner. But first, if you are new here, my name is Marcella. I'm a relationship coach trained by Tice Gibson in the Personal Development School. I have a bachelor's degree and I've been studying the field of personal development, attachment theory, and the subconscious mind for the past 5 years now. Now let's dive in. So first and foremost, you might already know this, but fearful avoidants tend to have this hot and cold patterning in relationship dynamics, and this tends to come from wanting love and connection at a very deep level, but also fearing it at the very same time. So one of the main reasons why fearful avoidants can tend to feel very unsafe and want to pull away in their relationship is because they have this underlying belief that they are going to be left eventually. Like they feel like I'm going to be abandoned. And so what often triggers this is getting into point number 1 is when you are feeling disconnected in your relationship. So let's say your partner goes on a work trip and maybe they're keeping in touch a little bit, but you are still disconnected because you guys aren't spending as much physical time together or having as much quality time or communication going on, and you're feeling disconnected. And this disconnection makes you feel very unsafe. Or this can also happen if, again, you and your partner are together, but you're not spending very much quality time that is filling up your bucket in the way that you are needing as a fearful avoidant, which is usually wanting deep conversations and actually having very much presence with one another and connecting on a deep level, not just sitting together, not just walking around together. It has to be this connection that is taking place. Or again, if there's not a lot of connection throughout a day, like texting, phone calls, these types of things, and you feel disconnected, this disconnection can make a fearful avoidant feel very dysregulated. And I want to share that you can initially feel very anxious around this, and you can feel a little bit of worry, anxiety, panic, fear come up. But usually fearful avoidance, because you have this thought that vulnerability makes you weak and you don't want to let your guard down, because what if they hurt you even more? You don't want to go to them and say, hey, I'm feeling disconnected. You don't really have that in your wheelhouse of even thought processes, but instead you're just like, I feel unsafe, we aren't connected, and you give it meaning. That disconnection must mean that they aren't interested anymore, that they don't like me anymore, are they talking to somebody else? Whatever meaning you are giving to that, it's causing you to think that something is going on in a negative way and cause you to want to pull away from the relationship. I want you to first understand, before I move on to the other 2 points, that our brain is this association making machine, right? So let's say that your first trip to the store, to the supermarket, right? And you first go to that store and something happens really bad, like there's a burglary going on, you have to get on the floor and something bad really happens. Well, what your brain does, is likely to do anyways, is to make associations to that moment. So you might make the association in that moment that going to the supermarket is unsafe. Or you could make the association that people at the supermarket are unsafe and scary and I can't trust them and something bad could happen. Or you could even make the association that going out into a public space is unsafe and something bad might happen, right? And so for disconnection, it's you having this unhealthy relationship to what it means to experience disconnection. So let's say, as a child, you had a father who was an alcoholic, and when they disconnected to maybe go out and drink, and they would come home and maybe they were volatile and angry, well, you connected those dots between disconnection, being unsafe, and when they return, oh my gosh, it's going to be something bad, therefore I need to push that very far away. Another thing that could take place is, let's say that your caregiver is going through depression and they disconnect and go to their room and they shut off from the world. They're not really paying paying you any mind, any attention. And in that moment, you're not getting your needs met. You can't really rely on them. You have to really just rely on yourself. You're feeling abandoned emotionally and physically and all of these things. It just makes you feel bad, right? And so you associate this disconnection with feeling bad. I'm not going to be able to get my needs met. They're not going to see and understand me. They don't care about me. I'm just here alone, right? You have these associations that you've made to disconnection in the past. So just something that I wanted to make you aware of and what could be potentially going on with you as a fearful avoidant. Now, number two, you could be feeling like you want to shut down and pull away from your partner and that they're going to leave you when you have unmet needs. So unmet needs in your relationship dynamic can be things like not feeling wanted and desired. So fearful avoidance, some of your big needs are wanting to feel wanted and desired, to have novelty or adventure, to be able to grow and progress together, to move on to next stages, to see that you are actively growing, to have like experiences together, right? To do new things, try new things, that falls into novelty, but also consideration, right? I need to be able to know that you're going to take me into consideration when you're making choices throughout life that could potentially affect me, taking my feelings, my needs, what I want and desire into consideration before just making choices in life, especially if we are a team. So whenever you have unmet needs, let's say like your partner has not been making you feel really desired lately, you can jump to this conclusion that, oh my goodness, why haven't they been really intimate lately? They're not really giving me too much playfulness like they usually do. What's going on? Are they losing interest? You go to these worst case scenarios, or like if you guys haven't really been having fun lately or having some heightened experiences, your mind jumps to, oh my gosh, this is getting boring. Like they're getting bored of me. There's no more spark. How can I spark this up? And you're starting to feel like they're going to leave because of this. They're going to leave me. And so as a form of self-protection, you tend to want to shut down and pull away from the relationship and kind of like push somebody away, right? In the sense of like, you're trying to avoid them. You're trying to like push them away. You don't even give them the chance to really speak to you, to talk to you. If you see them, you kind of like try to pass them on purpose and avoid them. And like, you're like, I just want to like be in my shell, right? And this also can come with some of the fearful avoidance, what I say, protest behaviors, things like testing for care. Like you might see that you might go to your partner and call them and say, hey, I want to do this later. And then they say, okay. And then they come home and maybe you never bring it up and you're just waiting to see, are they going to bring it up? Did they listen? Do they even care about me? And if they don't, you're like, oh, see, I knew it. So you're testing them, right? Testing them for care. Another thing is that fearful avoidance can be very spiteful. So you might notice that you can be spiteful. If you normally cook dinner, you might be like, nope, I'm not cooking dinner tonight. Nope, we haven't been connected. Nope, they haven't been thinking about me or meeting my needs, or there's not really a spark lately. I think they're losing interest, so I'm not gonna cook for them. And this spitefulness comes from fearful avoidance wanting to feel connected, but they're instead feeling pain inside. They're feeling bad because of the meaning they are giving to whatever's going on and their lack of communication, actually. And so they want the other person to feel bad like they are feeling, so they become a little spiteful around this. And so this is a big thing that I see a lot of the times with fearful avoidance. Now let's dive into number three. Number three is going to be feeling unworthy as a person in your relationship dynamic. So when fearful avoidance are growing up, right, when you're not able to get love and connection from your caregivers because maybe they're going through their own life struggles, whether it be addiction, depression, personality disorders, anything like that sort, where they're preoccupied with other things and they're not really tuning into you. Well, what happens is you start to need love and connection from them. You start to want to go to them, but they aren't available, right? So you go, oh my goodness, I must be unworthy of love. And you gain this deep belief that you are unworthy. So when you get into a relationship, right, and somebody is connecting to you. Well, love and connection isn't really familiar to you. So when somebody's trying to give it to you, your brain does this thing where it equates familiarity with safety. And so that's not familiar. Love and connection is not familiar. So you consciously want it, but your subconscious mind is like, nope, this is not familiar. I need to push it away, because if it's unfamiliar, that means it's unsafe. So it pushes it very far away. And this comes in the form of sabotaging love and connection. So even if your partner is showing up for you, trying to do nice things for you, trying to meet your needs, it might like fly over the top of your head, because you have this underlying belief that you are unworthy. And when you have these beliefs, it's like tuning in to a radio station, to like the country station, right? And you're listening to country station music, and you're not tuning into any of the other things, right? And when you're tuned into this belief that I am unworthy, you're tuned into that reality, and you're seeing everything in your reality around that, and you're not really tuned into anything else. You're not tuned into how they're showing you that you are worthy, how you are worth it, how they do love you. No, you're just focused on this I am unworthy core wound. And so when you feel this way, it might not be something that is conscious right away, but you can probably bring it up with a little bit of introspection and realize like, yes, I really resonate with that. And another thing that you can kind of connect the dots with here is that when you have this unworthiness feeling, you tend to want to overcompensate for it in your outer reality. So you're trying to earn your worth all of the time, which comes in the form of fearful avoidance, really wanting to overachieve, to show up perfectly, to do all of the things in their relationship, to really be attuned to people and say, this is what they like, this is what they don't like, I need to give them this, they like this, and I'm gonna like cook, clean, do all these things. I'm gonna be superwoman, I'm gonna be the perfect partner because I want to show them that I am worthy, right? And this is how it happens for the fearful avoidance. So what can we actually do about all of these things? Well, number one, when you're feeling disconnected, right? I mentioned it being the relationship you have to disconnection. You first want to recognize the stories that you tell to yourself when you are feeling disconnected. So if your partner and you have not been talking for a couple hours and you feel anxiety and you're like, this is me feeling anxious over disconnection. Okay, what am I making this mean that I haven't heard from them? Whatever meaning you're giving it. Maybe you're making it mean that your partner doesn't care about you. They're not thinking about you. Are they even interested anymore? The next question I want you to ask is, can I know for 100% without a shadow of a doubt that this is true? Chances are no, right? And then I want you to come up with 3 other things of what it could be other than the meaning you're giving it. So for this example, you might say, well, my partner might be very busy at work. They might have got a flat tire. They might just be really overwhelmed and stressed, right? This is helping you bring your perception back into balance, because before you start going through these questions, you're like, they don't like me anymore, they're gonna leave me, they're abandoning me. And you can like bring your brain back into balance and regulate your emotions by just going through those couple of questions to get back in touch with reality and what is actually going on. After that, you know, what is it that I need right now? Find a healthy strategy to meet that need. I want to feel more connected. I want to communicate more. What is a healthy strategy to get this need met and go directly to the source, right? Maybe I can go call my partner right now and plan a date night and say, hey, can we hang out tonight? Instead of going into my shell and pulling away because I'm feeling unsafe, because this is actually opposite of what I want. So if I'm not going after what I do want, I'm actually pushing these things away, right? Without even realizing it. So I'm longing for it, but I'm pushing it away at the same time. And we don't want that circle to keep on going on. Number 2 is like your unmet needs, right? What we talked about, feeling wanted and desired in your relationship, having consideration, maybe consistent communication, maybe a little bit of validation. Whatever it is, if you don't know what your needs are, you can look into videos on fearful avoidance top needs. There are many of them out there. Or you can just ask yourself, in an ideal world, what would I have around communication in my relationship? What would my sexual desires look like? What would my relationship look like in terms of date nights? And write these things down. They're in your mind. Just write them down. In an ideal world, there's nothing wrong. There's no wrong answer. Write them down. and then say, okay, can I go communicate these to my partner and say, hey, I realize like I really like to have a date night once a week. Can we possibly work on implementing this? Hey, I'm feeling a little disconnected, or I'm feeling like not desired in the relationship. I feel really good when we kind of are like playful here and there, or you're being really like cuddly with me. That makes me feel really desired. Can we try to like work on that or be a little more mindful of that? That would be really wonderful, right? Being able to communicate on behalf of your needs is going to be huge. And lastly is, we talked about the unworthiness core wound, right? Now, this is a big one. Awareness is number one. So you can be aware that you have this. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling unworthy, right? What can I do about this? Well, you have to do subconscious mind reprogramming work around this, which means when you're feeling unworthy based on what you do instead of who you are at your core, this is very mixed up, because you're not worthy based on what you do, you're worthy based on who you are. So for 21 days, to reprogram this belief to stop coming up in your life, I'm going to give you a tool called auto suggestion, and this is going to be a tool that you're going to use for 21 days, and you're going to write a list of 10 traits or qualities or things about yourself that you think are worthy and deserving of love. And you're going to reread this list every single day for 21 days to wire in new neural networks about how you are worthy. And I don't want this connected to the things that you do. This is going to be connected to who you are already. So maybe, for example, it could be, I'm very intelligent. I like to learn a lot. I watch a lot of courses. I am funny. I'm like very humorous. I have the ability to make people laugh. And I think that this is like a trait that's worthy and deserving of love. I am beautiful, right? Maybe I love my eyes, or I love the way my lips look. I don't know, whatever it is. I am charismatic. I am caretaking at heart. I am very loving. I'm such a kind person. Whatever it is, start working on building this connection with your mind and yourself to remind yourself that you are worthy for who you are, not what you do, because that is the truth. So if you aren't following me already, hit that subscribe button for more fearful avoidant content. I'm sending you lots of love. Have a wonderful day. God bless.